Hello everyone, this is Nudge. I have no clue as to when I'm going to be putting this video up. It might be on Friday, it might be some other time entirely, I don't know. But Daniel gave me an idea that I actually never thought I would do, but honestly, it's an interesting idea, and I wanna think a little bit about it, so let's get right to it. What I'm gonna do in this video is, this is recorded using my phone, so there are noises. I mean, I could use noise gates and stuff and record using my computer, but I'm too lazy, and I also want to look around my room and actually feel the games as I talk about them, even though I'm not going to be playing any of them in this recording. What I want to do, and what Daniel told me to do, and I think this is kind of interesting, seeing as though I have so many new electronic games, and the collection is not going to be stopping for another while, I don't know, I'm probably going to be getting less games in this next season than I did last year, because last year was just, this year I mean, but like, I'm working in like school years basically, because that's what's the most convenient for me, but it's been crazy, and so he asked me, which games are there that I play more than others, and which games are there that I literally do not play ever? And that is a very interesting question, because I do play a lot of my games. Well, that is for us to find out together, I guess. So, let's start. I'm gonna go in order for as long as I can. So I'm gonna start with the
Medium, high.
The Bop It Extreme 2.
High score.
Which let's talk about the way in which I'm going to do this. I'm going to give every game a rating between 1 and 5, and in very, very, very special cases, I'm going to give them a 0. So, the Bop It Extreme 2 was the first game I ever had, and I use that quite frequently for testing AA's. I just take one of the 3 batteries out, preferably the top one, and I put some other battery in it and see what the pitch is like. It's a very easy way for me to check battery levels. But besides that, I play it sometimes. It's a Bop It that I do play not quite often, but often enough, I guess. I'm gonna give it a 4. Next is, let's see, I don't think I'll be able to get oh, here it is. Does it have batteries? Yes, it does. The Bop It XT, the very old one. This one, I'm going to give it a 0, because it's like half broken, as I once said. Actually, I said it probably many times. I don't understand why this one even has batteries in it, to be quite honest. I might even just replace, take the batteries out of it and put them in something else. Next is the... Not that. It's going to take a while for me to even find the thing.
Turn it to a game and bop it to start.
I don't even know if it's here.
I'm going to sleep.
Where is it? Is it even here? I wonder, maybe it's not even here anymore. Maybe it's gone? Maybe it's somewhere else? Where else would it be? Where else could it have gone? I can't find it. I literally cannot find this thing. Oh wait, is it this? No. It's the other one, but I'm for a video quickness sake, I'm just gonna write it down as being the correct one. It's the Bop It Shout, the German one, the one that I got first, and this one is quite low on my list. I think I'm gonna call it a 1, because once you play a Bop It Shout one time, you kind of played it all the time. It's not as bad as some of the other ones that we'll be getting to later, but it's definitely not great. I literally cannot find the thing. Like, seriously. I cannot find it whatsoever. I'm gonna have to, empty the whole entire box and try to find it that way. Because I can't find it right now. Next is the Bop It Beats, which... I think I did find it. I think it's this one. Yeah. The Bop It Beats doesn't have batteries in it either, because I'm going to give it a 0 for that one as well, because it's broken. The Bop It button barely even works. Next is another one of the games in this box. I'm probably going to be turning on a lot of games while I look for these things. I know I've seen it. It's the Simon Swipe. The Simon Swipe is... I'm going to rate it a 3. Because I do play it occasionally. And although in most cases it's either Classic Simon or Extreme Simon, I don't play Levels mode anymore because I've already gotten 90 on it. And once you do it once, I don't think you'd want to do it again. Or at least not with something that challenging. Next is the New Jam, which I'm not even going to bother turning on because I know it doesn't have batteries right now. The New Jam, I'm going to give a score of 2 because I'm afraid that I'll break it, which is why I don't play it very often. And also, I've played it to hell in 2015. And I honestly, it's basically just a bop it and only has 4 commands and it's kind of half pattern-based. Not 100% pattern-based, don't get me wrong, but still, it's just, I don't know. And as I said, I'm afraid that it'll break. Next is the Groove It. The Groove It, I'm going to give the Groove It a score of 2, again, on this one. It's because I don't really keep the batteries in it either, because I think if I played it for too long, I basically get 300 almost every time. There's no reason for me to fail unless the sensors stop working. It's kind of boring. It just keeps giving you moves and you keep doing them and there's nothing that stops. The speed doesn't change. It just gets kind of boring after a while. I mean, you could say the same for the Bop It Extreme too, but at least with that, there's less different kinds of moves to worry about and you can get through the game a bit faster, and there's also kind of interesting patterns to look at, whereas on the Groove It, it's almost completely random. Okay. Next is, I'm going to move over to the shelf where the Bop It Extreme 2 was, and I'm going to find, I cannot find it. Where is it? Where is it? Did I move it somewhere else? Did it fall down? Hey there, Super Click It. Oh, it's down here. I can't get it out without things falling. It's the...
Bop it to start. High score, 0.
That.
Bop it. Oh, bop it like you mean it. Score, 0.
It's the Bop It Refresh. This, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a rating of 3. I have batteries in it most of the time, because I don't really know why exactly, but I play it every so often. I play Classic and Beat Bop mostly, just because of how fast and also there's also the beat glitch. It's kind of interesting. On action mode, though, I mean sometimes I do play action mode, but it's not as it kind of gets frustrating after a while. Next, these ones I'm going to move in almost completely random order. Next
Hyper toss
is the wait.
Hyper shoot member freestyle.
Okay, good. I was wondering what was happening to that. The Hyper Toss. I'm going to give this a rating of 2 for now. It's because I've basically almost 100% maxed the whole thing out, and I don't really feel like there's any competition out there that would make it so that I'd want to push any further. I've gotten crazy records on it already, and as long as those batteries in it will last, I think they'll stay like that. It's kind of like how the Simon Swipe worked as well. It's just, once you have some amazing record on a game, you don't really want to keep improving it unless there's someone who's going to try to beat you first. But besides that, it is an enjoyable game. It's more for comparing scores, and when someone only has the highest scores that have ever been recorded in history, then what's the point of even going further, you know? Next.
One player, squish it.
No, I'll get to you later. Next is the Bop It Original 2002. I played this as a test and I got a score of 18 on it, apparently. Shut up. The Bop It Original 2002, I'm going to give this a rating of 3. Because I do play this. I do play this quite occasionally, actually. It's because I just like how fast it goes. And I also like to look at random pattern tendencies. Okay, next is the the Zing It, which currently has half-dead batteries in it. The Zing It, I'm going to give it a 1. No, I'm going to give it a rating of 2. I bumped it up to 2 because it can do low battery glitches, and those are always fun. Besides that, I don't really play it normally because my unit is kind of broken. It has some really weird glitches, and the string doesn't always work. So you can play it to a certain extent, but it doesn't always react correctly, and so playing it is not really easy to do. And even then, it wouldn't really be as fun as some of the other games that I own. Next is the Pocket Simon, the 1998 one. Sorry, I just had to do that. This one, this is hard. I'm gonna give a rating of 3, because I do play it occasionally. It is a Simon that I take out every so often, but I don't do it extremely often, because of how fast it is. Although that could be considered as more of a challenge. I do play it sometimes, though, and I also take it to places, or at least I did a few times. Next, I need to go back to that thing where I had all the games in the box. Oh, the Bop It Smash. The Bop It Smash, I'm gonna give this a rating of 1, because ever since I tried to write down the pattern and actually try to play it as a blind person with that specific pattern, after that, I never really wanted to do it again. I feel like it's just not worth it. It really isn't worth playing for me. Maybe if I could see it. And even then, I don't think I'd play it that much in comparison to some of the other games that I own. Next would be the
32,032 total hits. Select your game. Max bounce. How many bounces can you do in 30 seconds?
The Bop It Bounce, I'm going to give a rating of 1 because, quite frankly, it's boring. It doesn't let you do, there is no randomness involved whatsoever. It's completely skill-based, and it's just, no, it's not worth playing. Okay, and we have 2 more in the section that Daniel gave me. One of them is the loops, which right now doesn't have batteries. I'm gonna give the loops a rating of 2. The reason for this is that the only mode that I find really enjoyable and worth playing is Reflex Master. That's the only one that's kind of like the most random one there is. The other ones are a little too pattern-based or a little too visual. Repeat the Beat is very easy. Rhythm and Flow is impossible. Versus Mode is 2-player. Music Studio and Freestyle are just, I don't know. They're not worth it, not unless you do random glitches and get random instruments. And then Musicology is, well, it is possible, but it's extremely hard. And and that leaves us with Reflex Master, which is kind of doable to a certain extent. But the Loops is a good game in its own thing. It's just I don't play it as often as I would some of the other games. This is more of like a relative thing. So if the only game that I ever had in my collection would have been the Loops, I'd probably play it to death. But and then finally, see if I can find the thing. See if I can even figure out where it is. And let's see. Where would it be? I think I saw it somewhere. Not here.
32 million.
Hey there, Olaf. I'll get to you later. I'll get to you in just a minute. I am looking for the Hyperdash Extreme, which right now doesn't have any batteries. The Hyperdash Extreme, I'm going to give a rating of 2. Because most of the other Wild Planet games that I own kind of overshadow the Hyperdash Extreme. If I try to play it with, like, I've already beaten the game with the targets. I don't want to go any faster or anything. I've already done it once, and playing with the buttons just causes frustration to me most of the time, and trying to speedrun is basically impossible, so, like, what's the point of playing it more than some of the other Wild Planet games that I own, which are just more fun to me. So that is 16 games done. Can you believe that I have about 1.5 times more to go through? Okay, you ready? Let's go. So first, this is Pixel's package. First is the Super Memory. The Super Memory, I'm giving it a rating of 2, because I do pull it out very occasionally, just because it's a 6-button Simon, and 6-button Simons are kind of interesting. And also, we've never figured out if the Super Memory even has an end at all. So that is the reason why I very occasionally pull it out, but I don't play it very often. Next is, let's go over to this other box. Let's see. What do we got? Where is it? Can't find it. Here it is. It's the This is the Bop It Beats, the French one. I'm giving this is like the most boring section of the thing, because I'm giving this a rating of 2 as well. You know why? Because we've all played at least me, Sam, and Daniel have played the Bop It Beats to freaking hell in 2015. And I honestly think the Bop It Beats is way too overrated. There's other games out there that aren't Bop It that are just more challenging, in my opinion. And constantly praying for RNG, trying to get a better score, and the only reason why you're getting a better score is because the game decided to give you good luck. That is what I call dumb. Either that, or well, yeah, actually, never mind. But yeah, you literally, your score, if you do perfectly, your score is dictated by RNG. So no, I don't play the Bop It Beats very often, even though it is the French one, and I love the mechanics and everything, but now that I have other games, I just don't play it that often. Next, let's do the, let's see, where is it? Let's see if I can even find it. I don't think I can. Can I? Oh, where it is. Let me see. There. I can't find it. I don't know where it went. I'm looking for the Simon Air. The Simon Air that Pixel gave me, and I cannot find it. I don't know where it went. But the Simon Air, I'm giving it a rating of 3. I play it every so often. Oh, here it is. There it is. The Simon Air, yeah. So I play it sometimes. And I do enjoy, especially the levels mode, and even the 2-player mode. I like playing that one as well, exercising both my hands and my legs at the same time. Yes, call me weird, I actually did that once. You can make some kind of interesting ways of playing the Simon Air. But yeah, so that one isn't a game that I play all the time, but I do go back to it every so often. Now let's do, where is it? Just when I need it. Okay. It's the, which right now has kind of very, very low batteries. I'm giving this a rating of 4. 4.5 even. It's very, very high on my list. The reason why is not just because of how hard it is and how challenging it is, but it's also because of the low battery glitches. It's both at the same time. So it's like, the more you play with it, the more interesting it is, because for one, you get to improve on your skills, be as perfect as possible on the whole entire game. It's not for everyone, mind you, because you do have to spend about 30 to 45 minutes on one run of the game just to get all of them right. But yeah, and then the more runs you complete, the lower the batteries get, the more distorted the speaker gets, and the more likely it is that you'll be able to get interesting glitches out of the thing. So that makes it very appealing to me. Next, let's go in order of the games that I actually bought for myself from eBay. The first one is the
Solo Blasting.
the Bop It XT 2013 edition, which was the time when I was thinking that it was going to be a Bop It download, which it didn't turn out being. So because of that, I'm giving this a rating of 2. I'm sorry, Bop It XT. I don't play this one as much because again, I've beaten it like twice already, and I don't really feel like doing it again. I mean, I very occasionally take it out just to mess with the mechanics. That's really all I do. I don't even play the game. I just take it out like this, and I just do this. Either that or this. Or this. Yeah, the mechanics are great. The game itself, I don't know. It's a good game, and again, this is relative, so because of the fact that I have so many other games, it kind of overshadows things. But if the Bop It XT, even though it is a 2013 one, it'll probably, if this was my only game, it would probably last for many years, and I would probably play it quite often. But again, the more variety there is, the more likely it is for something to kind of go downwards in value. The next one, which I'm not going to bother taking out because it doesn't have any batteries right now, is the Uno Blitzo. This is a hard spot. I'm giving this a rating of 2, maybe even a 1.5, because it's not broken, but I don't play it very often because it's kind of meant to be more of a party game, and if you're just playing as one person, it's more like a Bop It than anything, and then if you mess up on the higher levels, you're basically screwed forever. So there's kind of no satisfaction out of playing the thing, and also it doesn't really do any low battery glitches, so it's not even worth that in that respect. So I don't know. It would be more fun if there were 4 actual players. That would be interesting. Next, I have no clue where the hell this is, but I'm not going to go and find it because I know that it doesn't have batteries either. It's the Top It. The Top It, I'm going to give a rating of 3, even though I've kind of neglected it and put like half low batteries into it. It's because I was trying to see if I could get it to do anything interesting, but as of right now, I haven't really gotten it to do anything yet. And the compartment is very stubborn on that one, so it's not easy. Wait, I just realized. I just missed out one of the most important games. I'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, so the Top It is rated 3, and I think one of the things I'll do after I finish recording this is I'll take the batteries out of the XT 2011, the one that I got originally, because that really doesn't need any batteries in it. And I'll replace them all with the ones in the Top It, because I want the Top It to still live. Okay, so let's go back to the shelf. I forgot.
One player. Squish it.
No, not you. I forgot you.
Are you ready to dash? Choose a game. Hyper Dash.
The Hyper Dash. I'm giving this a straight up 5, because the Hyper Dash is great. I mean, it is pattern-based to a certain extent, but there is a crazy potential in, for one, speedrunning it. For 2, maybe if you're playing with multiple players, it would be really interesting to see if you could like actually spread the targets out. For 3, Micro Dash is a great game mode. And for 4, the battery glitches. So all around, it's like one of the best games and one of the ones that I play the most often. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we can finally address the call of the Super Click It, which has constantly kept going.
1 player.
Yeah, the Super Click It, I'm going to give that a rating of 3. No, actually, I'm going to give it a rating of 4. Because the Super Click It is so unique, I actually end up playing this more than any other Bop It, or too many of the other Bop Its, that is. And it really is challenging as well. And on top of that, it does do some, it doesn't really do that much, but it does do some kind of weird things on low batteries, so I'll give it that. So I'm giving it a 4. After that comes, where is it? I cannot find it. Seriously? Dude, seriously? Come on. I'm looking for the Hyperslide. I'm giving this a 5 as well. The Hyperslide is one of the most interesting and one of the most challenging and one of the most fun games in my collection. So it has literally anything that I want from a game. It's great. I love the Hyperslide. It hasn't lost its battery power yet, but it might actually do something interesting on low batteries. I haven't figured that out just yet, but I have played it enough, and also you can speedrun it, which is always great. Okay, after this, however, is where things get a tiny bit confusing, because I got the pickup coil, I got the Guitar Rockstar. Okay, so this is where all the games from Daniel's package go. So, let's get started. I'll start with the obvious. I'll start with not that. I wanted the Olaf. I'm giving this a 0. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna give it a 1. I was about to give it a 0 because Olaf, we all know what Olaf is like, but no, I'll give it a 1 because it's like a micro. And speaking of the micro, I do have the micro in here as well, except it doesn't even have batteries. I'm giving that a 1 as well. Micro and any of its derivatives get a 1 from me. You know what that means? For those who already know what games I own, they know. It's the Bop It Classic 2019.
High score 100.
I own this as well, and it's getting a 1 from me as well. I remember the first time I turned you on a few months ago. Yeah, the Bop It Classic 2019, and including with the micro and all of its derivatives, they're getting a 1. They're 2 pattern based. They're all the same, and they're just not worth playing at all. 0, I can't give them a 0 because they aren't broken. If they were, I would happily give them a -1 even. Next, now that we have those 3 on the list, let's move over to this box. Let's talk about some of the other ones. We got...
I am Torx. Okay, maybe later?
The Torx. I'm giving this a 5 for right now. It's super, what is it called? Super addicting. It's great. I love the ideas of how the Torx works and what it can do. Excuse me for noises, by the way. Yeah, it's very fun, very challenging, very interesting. Oh, here's another thing I forgot. Let's move over to the other shelf and talk about these two. First is the Simon Micro. I'm giving this a 4. It's very, very close to a 5, though. It's like in the middle, because the Simon Micro is it is the Simon that I play the most often, because I'm very close to that 90. I got 90 out of 100, so I really want to keep going, and at some point I want to actually get that 100 points and beat the whole entire levels thing. It would be great if I could. It really would be. And because of that, I think the Simon Micro is one of the games, one of the Simons that I play the most often nowadays. Aside from the fact that it just feels good in the hand as well. And then, before I forget about this thing, I need to talk about Where is it? I need to talk about the Simon Optics. Simon Optics, I'm giving a rating of 3. I think that's how much the Simon Air also got, I hope. I don't remember. It's about the same. I play the Simon Air and the Optics kind of interchangeably, because they both have levels modes and they work similarly, kind of. And I play them like kind of side to side every so often. And I do come back to it sometimes, just in case I can try to beat my high score. I haven't done it as much as I used to since I got Daniel's huge package, but yeah. Okay, so 4 games out of Daniel's 12 have been revealed. Let's go over to this other box. Next is the
Extreme Simon.
The Simon 2, or some people like to call it the Simon Squared. I just don't feel comfortable with that name personally. The Simon 2, I'm giving a rating of 3. Even though it is a very, very good Simon, nothing beats the Simon Micro right now because of the fact that the Simon Micro has the whole entire level system thing going for it. And because of the fact that because this is more of like a classic Simon, so it just does one thing at a time in most cases. And I mean, it is a fun game, don't get me wrong, that's why I give it a rating of 3. But I just don't play it as often as, say, the Micro, as much as the Micro, or maybe even the Swipe, the Air, or the Optics. Same with this one, the Simon Classic 2020. I'm going to give this a rating of 3 as well. Same kind of ordeal. I play it every so often, just in case I want to try and improve the score on a Simon that is like no fuss, no nothing. It's literally just 4 colored buttons, that's all I need. It's a good game for what it is, although I think if I only had the Simon Classic as my only game, I'd probably look for something else. Now, if it was the Simon 2 or the Simon Swipe or some of the other modern ones, I think I'd be satisfied. But just the Simon Classic with its one game mode, I don't know about that. So that's 6 of them done. Let's keep going. Next is the Circuit Breaker. The Circuit Breaker is getting a rating of 2. It's not pattern-based, therefore I don't want to give it a rating of 1, and it's not poorly designed either. But it's just something that I come back to every so often, very, very, very occasionally. It's a little too easy. Well, not unless you're playing light mode, in which case you have no clue as to which one the command is. But yeah, it's just not really that interesting. I mean, for the company standpoint, yes, it is interesting, because it is made by Tomy, which is a company that we usually don't see in the electronic game world. But besides that, it really isn't that interesting of a game. So that's 7 done. Let's see. What else is in this box? There is nothing of note here. I can't find anything. Ooh, that's the Top It. I found the Top It at least. I know where one of the games is. Just gonna need to find it. The Bop It Maker. The Bop It Maker is getting a rating of 2.
I'm going to sleep.
It's very close to a 1, though. Very close. It's infuriating at times. It doesn't recognize your moves correctly. It sometimes just glitches out. The recording moves part is just dumb. I don't like the Maker that much. And that is why I wouldn't have ever gone out of my way to buy it myself. And I rate it very close to a 1, but still at a 2 because of that. So that's 8 done. Now, let's see. Next, I want to find the one that is stored in a different location, while this thing constantly keeps swinging around in a pattern. See if I can know where it is. Somewhere around here. Remember it? Well, where else would it be? Seriously. Oh, here it is.
Are you ready to blast?
The Hyper Blast.
Hyper blast.
The Hyper Blast is getting a rating of 4. It's very close to a 5, though. It's very fun, although I haven't played it with the ball targets in a while, because I like to speedrun it, and speedrunning it using the buttons is more quick. But it is quite fast, nonetheless, and it is kind of challenging as well. So that makes it one of my top contenders, very close to a 5. Not exactly, but close enough. Now, let's see. Anything else I'm missing? Next is the... Now I want to quickly show you something on this one for a moment, the flip slide.
Slide block to start playing.
So,
Speed mode. Current high score is 50.1 seconds.
now listen to this.
Level mode. Current high score is 8 moves. Memory mode. Current high score is 7 moves.
That
Current high...
is something I just got recently. It was completely out of the blue, and I figured out that if you somehow manage to get 6 on the first level on memory mode, it will level up, which is very interesting. It doesn't matter to me because this is a 100% visual game, and I know it has kind of, like, it has patterns, but, now you'd be expecting, it's a visual game. What kind of rating is it gonna get? I'm still giving it a rating of 3. You know why? Enough said. The mechanics are just fucking amazing. I don't even turn the game on sometimes. I just mess with it. One of the things that I do with the Torx as well, actually. Also, it's kind of portable, so if I could see, then I could imagine this as being my perfect companion, my perfect gaming companion. Well, not unless I'd have some kind of Nintendo Switch on myself, either that. Because, I mean, if I could see, I'd probably be stock full of, like, Nintendo consoles or portables or something that isn't electronic games. So anyway, last one. I'm really sorry to say this, but let's face it, the
Break the board. Level up.
the Break the Board is getting a rating of
Level 2.
4 from me. Not all time, though. This is only my
Slide your hand
current
under the
rating.
flashing light to start the game.
It is an amazing game, don't get me wrong. The only reason why I'm giving it a 4, just like with the Hyper Toss, is that I've gotten so far and so, like, amazing fastest times on the thing that there's no reason to keep playing it, because I've literally hit my personal best. Like, I can't go any lower on anything. Well, on levels 8, 9, and 10, maybe I can, but those are crazy hard, and I just have other things to do right now, so it's not worth it. The Break the Board by itself is an amazing game, as I said before. It's just the fact that there's no reason to play it anymore because of how amazing my records have already been. Sure, if the batteries do die, then I will have to do them again. I'll probably have much worse records in most of the levels, but it doesn't matter. I might do it again once the batteries die. I don't know. And the last game out of 12 is the one that is still in its box. It's the Sega Pods. And I've never been able to get this to even start working, like, at all, unfortunately. We tried putting batteries in it in that one recording, couldn't get anywhere, so I'm giving this a rating of unqualifiable for now. It's probably, if I ever do decide to play with it, and if I can figure out how it works, it's probably only gonna be getting a rating of 1 or 2 anyway. From what I've heard of the game, it's nothing more than just a glorified Simon with motion controls. I mean, it's great, but it's a bit too advanced for its time, and I don't know. It depends. Maybe at some point I'll be able to get it going. I'm not sure. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, I'm not going to be counting the Bop It Shout with the other Bop It Shout because they both work completely the same. The Bop It Beats, I gave that a 0 because it's actually broken, whereas the other one, the French one, isn't. But the Bop It Shouts, neither of them have batteries in them, and I'm giving that one a 1 as well because it's exactly the same, except it's an English one this time. Language doesn't really matter to me as long as the game programming works exactly the same. And in this case, I don't think even the Japanese Bop It Shout would matter because I know the programming's a tiny bit different, but it's still not worth it. Sorry, Bop It Shout. Next is the Bop It Tetris, which I don't have batteries for. I'm giving this a 1 because for 1, I can't play it because I can't see it. But for 2, even if I could, again, Sam Locke has kind of already demonstrated that playing this is literally a battle against RNG. Even if you do everything perfectly, the only thing that will matter at the end is the patterns of the bonus rounds. That is literally it. So it really isn't worth playing. Even if I could see, I wouldn't play it as much as, say, I would a Flip Slide or a Rubik's Slide or any of the Rubik's Revolution games, or maybe even a Lights Out. I don't know. Or like a Loop Shifter or anything, really. I just wouldn't play it much. Then, however, comes the Bop It Download.
Solo.
Which, I'm giving this one a rating of 2. I'm sorry. I really shouldn't. But, there's no mistaking it. The Bop It Download was great, but only was great for its time. The fact that there's a few things that make it a rating. For 1, there's on mine where the spin it doesn't work. For 2, the light bop sections are just a pain in the nodge, but I don't think, like, for someone who could see, they are still probably a pain in the nodge. So, I don't know. 3, even besides all of that, getting the software to work, which I actually did, causing half the keybase to kind of get infected in the process. Yeah, anyway, the software, even though it does work, it's just really hard to navigate and it's really not worth using. Although at some point I am still considering making a pack. I haven't gotten started yet. And 4, even with all those things in mind, the game is just crazy slow, it's crazy boring, and there's almost no reason for you to get 1,000 to beat level 15, even if you could see the whole way through. Although, one thing that I will admit is that specific Bop It download units are supposed to glitch on low batteries, but mine hasn't done anything yet. Just yet. Oh yeah, that reminds me. The Torx. I recently reset it a couple times, trying to get battery glitches out of that thing, and it did almost nothing. My Torx is weird. It doesn't like to glitch, it seems. I've gone to say cooler, but that's about it. And, let me see. What's something I was going to say about the Torx? I don't remember what it was. Anyway, that is kind of a rarity how the Torx, or at least mine, doesn't glitch as much as most of the other ones do. And now we come to the final game. We're done, except for this final one, which is the
Select game.
the Challenge Wand. The Challenge Wand, I'm giving a rating of 5. The reason why is because, again, it's very similar to the reason why I give the Hyperdash a rating of 5. It's not because speedrunning, because you literally cannot speedrun this thing, because it's so challenging. You'll be hard-pressed to find anyone who would even be able to beat the entire thing on game 1. It's almost impossible. I haven't even been able to complete round 7. I've only gotten like 2 or 3 out of the, 10 commands that you need for round 7. It's crazy hard. And then game 2 is the Simon game, which keeps going on forever, adding 1 command to the sequence. Oh yeah, it is a 6-input Simon as well, which makes it more interesting. So, and after that, there's also the crazy low battery glitches. So yes, the Challenge Wand is getting full marks from me. It's one of the games that I play the most. And with that, we're done. Sounds like Hugh Jeffries a little bit, but no, and nothing like it. Yeah, that was all my electronic games, and the rating that I give them in terms of how much I play them. I'm guessing some of these ratings might be mutual between people. Some of them might have different opinions. You could all tell me what's different in your opinion, what you think in the comments. It will be interesting to hear your thoughts, and maybe we could even argue about some thing that I may have noticed or left out or I don't know. Or you could call me out on playing one specific game too much. I don't know. But yeah, I'm being more conscious in exactly what games I want to buy for myself. The Challenge 1 was definitely one of those decisions. Although, I don't know, because it's not just games that I want to play most, although Hyperside and Challenge 1 are very much like that. But it's also the rarity and maybe the non-rarity, as in like how easy it is to find. Maybe at some point I'll even just get a silly sausage just because, I don't know, things will happen, hopefully. And, yeah. But as of now, that has been my opinion. I hope you've enjoyed. And tell me what you think. I'll see you guys later.
Voice memos. Stop.